Okay. So guys, in the previous class, we spoke about all basic concepts like the user interface and a condition formatting and how to format as a table and about the
Yes, sir.
clearing and also filling details and few shortcut keys about data filtering, data sorting. All these concepts we discussed, right?
Yes, sir.
So from here onwards, we are going to talk about few more formulas. The basic core area of Excel is formulas. So we have to be very much good with the formulas. From basic formula, it can be easy formula, it can be tough formula, anything. We will understand from the scratch how actually the formulas will work, how we need to write formulas without remembering any syntax. Normally, if you want to write any coding or something, you always want to remember the syntax, right? But here we don't need to remember any syntax. That's the advantage of Excel. Suppose if you go to SQL or VBA, we cannot uh, get any assistance from the tool itself. If you want to write the code, you should be good with the syntax. Then only you'll be able to write the coding. But here, writing formulas in Excel also seems like a coding only. You have to write the formula coding, right? Syntax. But the advantage is while writing formula, Excel will help you to write the formula, the syntax, the formula syntax. We don't need to remember any formula. Suppose if you have more than 300, 400 formulas in Excel, you don't even need to remember single formula syntax. But still, we can write the formula if you can understand the basics. So this introduction class for this formulas is very important. That's the reason we focus. And if you don't understand, ask me the wherever we get it out, then there itself we have to ask and get it clarified. Understood? Shall we proceed?
Okay, sir.
It doesn't mean that only formulas are important. The topics we discussed previously, it's not important. No, every concept, whatever the things that we have discussed as of now, each and every concept is very much important for the exam. Okay. Okay, guys.
Okay, sir.
Let's understand the formulas. What exactly the formula in Excel? Can anyone tell me what we can do with these formulas? Why we have to use these formulas in the Excel? How it is different from the regular coding? Anyone have any idea? I know you guys are using Excel from childhood onwards, right? So what we
Yes.
can do with the formulas? Can anyone tell me?
క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ చేయడానికి ఈజీగా
For calculations. Then what else?
నాట్ ఓన్లీ క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ ఇట్
Basically,
లాజికల్ క్వశ్చన్స్.
yeah. So calculations is meant for the numbers. If you have a numbers, maybe you can do calculations. At the same time, we have a formulas for the text even. We have a data like student numbers, text. We have formulas for even text also as well. Basically, the formulas in this Excel is for the shortcuts. We can say these are like a shortcuts or commands where it will help us to manipulate the data quickly in our spreadsheet. If the data is available in our spreadsheet, we can manipulate the data. Here, the data, it can be numbers, it can be logical, it can be numeric, whatever it is. We can manipulate the data. The statistical analysis can be done through formulas. If you want to analyze the information, the statistical analysis, yes, this Excel formulas will help you. And also, as I said, if it is numbers related, we can perform the calculations. We can organize the data. Like it can be a data organization in terms of mathematics, statistical, logical. We can use these formulas. That's the major purpose of using formulas. How exactly the Excel formulas will work? Basically, if you're expecting something, if you want to do any manipulations in the data, first what we need a data, right?
డేటా.
If you have a data, by using the data, we can do anything. Anything in the sense, the manipulations can be done on the data. It can be numeric data, or it can be alphabetic data, logical data, whatever it is. There should be a data. So by using the data only, we can perform the calculations, right? So if there is a blank like this, we don't have any data. Is there any possibility to perform anything here? Unless until we have a data, we cannot create any output, right? Suppose here we
Yes,
have a
sir.
data. 1, 2, 3. This is one set of data. We have numbers, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Suppose I need to get some of these values. Here we have a 10, 20, 30.
Okay.
Here we have a data. Okay. Suppose, so here we have a data 10, 20, 30. If I want to add, if I want to get some of these values, here what I'm expecting some, right? The total of these three values I'm expecting. So if I want to get this total of these three values, how should I do? Maybe I can do manually also. 10 plus 20, 30, 30 plus 30, 60.
60.
We can do. But what if we have a huge data? Like I have a lot of data. It's not possible, right? I mean, in short span of time, if you want to calculate the total sum of this value, it's not easy. But
Yes.
using these formulas, it's possible. So basically, to get an output, the output can be like analysis, it can be summing, it can be average, whatever it is. My output is the required output is sum of these values. If you want to get this output, I need to apply some formula. I need to apply some formula. So with this formula, I can get my required output. So Excel is basically we have an input. With this input, what we will do? We will apply some formula. With that formula, what it will result? What
Outputs.
we will get an output. That's the
Yes,
process
sir.
of Excel. So we need all these two. That input, whatever the data from where we are applying the formulas, input should be in a proper valid. Suppose we have like a numeric here, A, B, C, and we have some numbers. Is it possible for us to understand and apply formula on this one?
No, sir.
No, right. Though it's possible we can get the result, but it's not the right format of data. So the input data should be accurate. We need to validate the input. How to validate the input? In the previous class we discussed, right? How to validate the input. Suppose maybe we have a text converted formulas. I mean text converted numbers. In that case, what we have to do? Suppose there is a numbers like this, right? Suppose if you apply the formula for this one, it's not showing anything. See, if I apply the sum here,
It is showing we are not.
see it's showing 0. Though it seems like a number. Suppose even if I reduce the width size, see now it seems like a numbers only. But it's not a number, right? It's text converted.
Yes,
I
sir.
need to convert. How should I convert? I'll go here. I'll convert it into number. Now it will show you the result. So all these calculations already we have done in the previous classes. So for that reason, whatever the input we have, we need to validate that input. The input should be in a proper format. That's what we have learned as of now. Now we are going to apply the formulas on that. Once we understand the input of data and how we need to validate the data, how we have to verify accuracy of data, all these things we discussed in the previous classes. So once we are done with that input, then we'll start applying the formula. Suppose here I need a formula. So let's apply some of these values I'm applying. Okay. So once I apply the formula, what I'm getting here,
Result output, sir.
what is the result? Sum of these
9.
values. Sum of
Yes,
these
sir.
values. So this is called an output. 920 is the output, my required output. So to get this required output, what I did here, I applied formula. You can see this formula bar. So whatever the formula you write, it will be displayed here. Okay, the formula bar it will display. So with this formula, I can get the required output. But sir, here the value is showing 910, but in the formula it's showing only sum of A1 to A13. Yes, this is the real value. What is the value of this formula? 920, right?
Yes, sir.
The value of sum of A1 to A13 is 920. So this is the display value.
910.
We are able to see this display value as 910. But what is the real value? How you need to understand how it's coming? If you refer this formula bar, it will show you. It is showing sum of, that means totaling of A1 to A13 cells. It's showing as 910 cells. What the point?
Yes, sir.
Everyone? Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's the process of formula, guys. First, there should be an input. With this input, we will apply the formula. Then we will get output. Is everyone understanding the process of formulas, how it will work?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Suppose let's assume here we have these numbers 50, 20,
20.
30. Here we have these numbers, right? I need to get a sum of these numbers. How I need to get? Suppose we can apply like this same formula. I can use a sum. Once you open the formula bracket, like if you want to write any formulas, the Excel itself will show you the arguments. Again, we'll talk about the formulas and arguments. So suppose if you want to write the formulas and ask some formula, the moment if I type is equal, whenever you want to write a formula, you have to use the characteristic called equals. You have to use the characteristic equal. Can everyone see this?
Yes, sir.
The moment you type equal, then formula will activate. Suppose if you want to write the sum formula, I'll press SUM. Now it will show all the formulas which starting with the sum. I'll discuss about all this, don't worry. So here I'll open the sum formula. If you want to write the formula, just open tab, click on tab, then sum formula activated. Can everyone see this?
Yes, sir.
So once some formula activated, you can see this blue color highlighted. And whenever I place my cursor near to this number 1, it's highlighting in a blue color. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
So these are called arguments. We call it as an arguments. Every formula will have an arguments. I mean, there are a few formulas without an arguments also, but for general understanding, formulas will have an arguments. So with this argument itself, we can write the formulas. So what is this argument, sir? We'll talk about it. Don't worry. Okay, just for understanding, I'm telling you number 1. What is the number 1 here? 50, right?
50, sir.
So what I'll do, I'll write number 50, comma. What is the number 2?
20.
20. I'll write number 2, 20. Number 3, what is the number 3?
30.
30. Okay, only 3 numbers we have. So let's close the bracket.
Yes,
What
sir.
I'm showing here, output is
Result output.
100, right? So what I did in this formula, I manually entered these values, right? 50, 20, 30.
Yes, sir.
I entered these values, right?
Yes.
Though we have a data here, without considering through reference, what I did, manually I entered all the data. So this is called the manual input. What we call it as manual input. Though we have a data on this column C, without considering data, while writing the formula itself, I'm entering the data. This is called manual input. The problem with this manual input is, suppose here, okay, by seeing these values, I entered here as a 50, 20, 30. Maybe tomorrow, these values I'll change it to 50 to 70. What is the total of now? 120. But here it's showing only 100. Can everyone see this?
Yes, sir.
That is the drawback of this manual input. In formulas, if you want to write the formula, we can use the manual input also. So whenever I'm writing the formula, I need to make sure what kind of input I'm giving in the formula. We have 3 ways of inputs, guys. One is the manual input, reference input, and formula input. In 3 ways, we can write the formula. Every formula, we can write in 3 ways. We can enter the data, the arguments we have, right? The formula inside. Number 1, number 2, these are the arguments. This is all syntax. So this syntax I can enter manually. The syntax is nothing but the input. The input I can provide it through manually. Or I can use the reference. Or else I can use the formula even. So now we understood what is the manual input, right? Everyone understood the manual input?
Yes, sir.
Everyone. Yeah, please go ahead. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So this is called manual input. I hope everyone understood what is the manual input in the formula, right?
Yes, sir.
The drawback with this manual input is whenever data get changes, we cannot
It
see the
shows,
updated. It will not show you the updated output. See, here I did change the data as 70, but here it's still showing as a 50. Now, to avoid the drawback, we have a next way of input called reference input. What we can do in this reference input, same formula I'll do. Some formula, I'll open the bracket. The moment if I open the bracket, it will show you again arguments, number 1, number 2. This time what I'll do, I'll just select these 3 values. Can you see the difference? Last time I given numbers 70, 20, 30. But this time what I'm doing, I'm just selecting the numbers. I mean cells, wherever the data is available, on those cells I'm selecting. Once I select, I'll close the bracket. This is called reference. Without inputting the values manually in the formula, what I'm doing, I'm selecting the reference, cell reference. In the cell reference, already the data is there. So I can use that. See now, showing 120. Suppose if I'm changing the data like 70 to 90, automatically the output is also changing. Can everyone see this?
Yes, sir.
So this is called reference input. Everyone understood, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then we have a formula reference. What is the formula reference? Inside the reference, suppose here I use the sum, right? Sum of C9 to C6, C9, C11. Suppose I have another requirement. Again, here I have a few values, 10, 20, 30. Okay. I need sum of these values plus maximum of these values also I need to add. Just understand my requirement. I need sum of these values, 90, 20, 30 plus biggest value from this side also I need to sum up. What is the biggest value in this?
30.
30. So 90 plus 20 plus 30 plus 30 I need. So how can I write the formula? Maybe if it is a manual, how will I write? If it is a manual, I'll write like this. Sum 90, 20,
20, 30,
30, 30. This is one method of writing formula. This is called manual method. Suppose if it is the reference method,
Select.
sum I'll use. Here I use the sum, comma. Then I need to select this cell. But what if it is changing even after some time? Maybe I'll select this one. This is also reference. I'm just selecting the cell, closing the. Sorry guys, 1 second. I cannot close the bracket actually. Yeah. See, now it's also 170.
Yes, sir.
But here I'm showing the maximum of these three values. It doesn't mean that every time it will be the 30 is the maximum, right? Maybe the 10 can also become 40. Now the maximum is 40, but it's not considering. It's still showing 170. It should be 180, right?
Yes, sir.
So what I'll do, I'll use the formula to get this maximum of these three values. Now I'll show you how to write that one. What I'll do, I'll use the sum formula. Sum of these values, comma. Number 2. What is the number 2 I need to write? Maximum of these three, right?
Yes, sir.
Maximum of the, what I'll do, again I'll write one more formula called max formula. Maximum of, here I can show you number 1, number 2, number 3. So these are the values. So let's select. Close the bracket. Can you see this? 180. So it means total of these three values plus 40 is the maximum. Suppose if I'm changing 20 to 70,
It automatically
automatically it's also changing. So how I use this 70, 30 or 40 in this value, in this formula? What is the reference method, input method I use?
Formula.
Formula. This is one kind of input. I can enter manually, I can use the reference, or through formula also we can enter the value. Through formula also we can enter the value. So basically writing formula inside the formula. Is everyone understanding?
Yes, sir.
So the main formula is sum formula, but again in the sum formula I use a max formula to get a maximum value of these three cells. Wherever we have maximum value in these three cells, it will get the value. So I'm giving an input through another formula that is called formula input. So in these three ways we can write the formulas. Understood everyone?
Yes, sir.
Everyone understood?
Yes,
Yeah. Now the problem is how to write formulas. As I said, we have a lot of formulas, or text formulas. We have a lot of text formulas, and we have data and type information formulas. We have, and we have a logical formulas, statistical formulas, mathematical formulas, lookup formulas, and we have a, yeah, these are the types of formulas. Regional logical formulas, information formulas. A lot of formulas we have. But how to remember all these formulas? Suppose if I press one simple word like it's equal to sum. In the sum itself, we have many formulas. See this one? Sum we have, sum if, sum product, sum SQ. A lot of things we have. So how to remember all these formulas? How to write? Is there any way to remember? Yes. Based on the arguments, yes. Based on the arguments, we can write the formulas. What is the argument? We'll understand the argument first. Please keep it on mute. I'm getting a lot of noise from someone else. Yeah. Now we'll understand what is an argument. Argument is nothing but every formula will be supported with a few arguments. If you open the arguments, then arguments will show you. I mean, if you open the formula, then arguments will show you. Can everyone see this? Blue color, range, then criteria, sum range. Can everyone read these lines?
Yes, sir.
So for every word, suppose range, for after range, what we have? We have a comma. Then criteria, we have a comma. Then sum range. Then close bracket. Like this, we have every formula. Even if you go for each formula, we have an arguments. Logical test, value if true, value if false. These are also arguments. If you open some formula, even for sum also we have number 1, number 2, number 3, right? So these are called arguments. Is everyone understanding?
Yes,
Are you guys
sir.
able to identify which is an argument in the Excel? Come on, guys, say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Are you guys able to identify the numbers now? Arguments?
Yes, sir.
Now, we will see types of arguments. What are the types of we have, sir? Arguments? We have three types. One is the limited arguments, unlimited arguments, and no arguments also. So what is the without argument? How can we write the formula, sir? I'll show you. We have few formulas without having any arguments also. Okay. Let me show you the arguments first. First, we have a limited arguments. Limited means if you open the formula, suppose I'll open a formula. Can everyone see this? We have a logical test, right? After the logical test, what we have? value if true.
Value
After
of
that,
true,
value if
value
false.
of false.
So how many arguments we have here?
2 arguments.
2 arguments.
3 arguments.
Logical
That is the
answer.
logical
Yes, sir.
test, comma,
Logical test.
then value if true, comma, value if false. Totally we have 3 formulas, 3 arguments. We can see the arguments, right? We can see. So without this, I mean, other than these 3 arguments, can I write anything in this formula? Can I write anything else extra?
No, sir.
No,
We
sir.
cannot write. Basically, it's a limited arguments. So we have 3 arguments, only 3 arguments we need to write. More than 3 we cannot write. So these are called limited arguments. Suppose if you open sum if formula, sum if, even sum if is also showing only 3 arguments, range,
Range.
criteria, and sum range. We have only 3 arguments. Like that, if you open the formula, it will show you the arguments. If you are able to count the arguments, if you are able to count the formulas, if you are able to count the arguments, that is called limited arguments. Now we are using if, normally, sorry, you have to press is equal, then if. Now tell me, is it a limited arguments or unlimited arguments?
Limited, sir.
Limited, because we can see after 3 arguments, the bracket has been closed.
Look.
There is no any other arguments. So we can say it's a limited argument. And what is unlimited argument? We have ifs.
More than 3.
Can anyone tell me how many arguments we can write in this formula? Ifs. Not if, it is ifs. Multiple conditions we can use.
Multiple, yes, sir.
So how many arguments we have in this?
Multiple, sir.
Huh?
Unlimited,
Multiple.
sir.
How many? Can you name anything? 20, 30, 40 like that. Can you name?
Particular.
So these are unlimited. How to identify, sir?
Not
In
a
this formula, we
particular.
have unlimited arguments. How you guys are able to identify it's an unlimited arguments? Any
And
difference
so
between?
on. Yes, sir. ఇక్కడ bracket close లో లేదు. ఇది and so on అని సార్.
Yeah, there is a dots. If everyone see this, after 2 arguments, what it's showing? Dot, dot, dot. Can everyone see the dot, 3 dots? That means it's a so on. We can write any n number of logical tests. Even if you write the sum formula, can you see this? Number 1, number 2. If you keep on writing, it will keep on opening. Sorry, comma. Can you see this? It's all increasing. Number 9, number 3. So this is called unlimited arguments. I hope you understand how to identify the arguments, limited or unlimited. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now we have an formulas without having any arguments also. Let's say, for example, we have a today formula. Can everyone see this today formula? What it will result? It will just give you the today date. If I open the bracket, it will immediately will show you the bracket closing. We do not have any arguments. Can anyone see the arguments in this?
No, no, sir.
No. You just have to open the bracket and close the bracket. That's it. Today, date and time it will give. Suppose we have a now is equal now. Current timing it will be given. See this one? Returns the current date and time formatted as a date and time. So open the bracket and close the bracket.
So can you
Everyone
change
see
the
this?
test format, no?
Huh?
Can you change the test format?
Sorry?
Put the Monday.
I didn't understand, Lokesh.
Okay.
సార్ ఇప్పుడు మండే కానీ అట్లా డేట్ చూడాలంటే ఎలా?
We can expand it. It's a date, right? Maybe we can change the date format. We have seen, right? Suppose we have a long date. See this one, May. Suppose if you want to see the short date, you can change it. You can change the customization. Already we spoke about the formatting, right? Long date, short date, and all. So we can change the format as we want. Already discussed all this, right? Number format, date formats, how we can change the demos, everything.
Yes, sir.
So we can apply as we want.
Okay.
Here we are try to understand the arguments.
Okay.
Okay. So today and now having no any arguments, but still we can write the formulas. Is everyone understanding?
Yes, sir.
What is the arguments? What is the limited arguments, unlimited arguments, and no arguments? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Suppose if I open this one, some formula showing number 1, then number 2 is showing again in square bracket.
Yes.
Square bracket, right? So how to identify, sir, like how many arguments we need to write? Suppose we have opened sum if formula. It's showing range normally. criteria also normally, but sum range is a again square bracket.
Square bracket.
Why is this square bracket? Do we need to write entire 3 arguments, or can I close the formula without writing any other arguments? Suppose, let's say for example, you have a if formula. What is if actually logical test? What is the logical test? Let me write here. 5 is equal to 5 is equal to 5. It's a logical test. Is it true or not? Is it true or not?
True.
True, right?
So only
True, sir.
Even this logical test also, let me keep it in a bracket. What's happening? If, let me write here the values 5 and 5. So here I'll write the formula, if formula. This equals to this, comma, close the bracket.
output 0.
Why it's showing 0?
True or false?
It should be true or false actually, but it's not showing why. So actually show the true actually. No, 1 second. What's happening, guys?
In brackets mentioned true or false.
No, we don't need to mention. Still it should show actually. 1 second.
If it is true, we need to mention 0 or 1, I think, in the place
No,
of
no, we don't need to mention. Still it should show actually. Maybe it should, if it is not nice, then it will show as a 1, I think. False. Yeah, now it's showing. If it is a true also, it should show as a true only, not a 0. Maybe some settings has been changed. There is always settings in the Excel. So maybe my settings has been changed. True means 0, guys. So if it is not a 0, then it will show as a false, right? So now let's talk about the arguments. We're talking about arguments. Let's see about it. So we have if formula, right? So we have to write the logical test and a value if true, value if false. Is it a mandatory to write all these arguments? Is it a mandatory to write all these arguments?
No.
Not required. How we need to identify is it required or not? Because if you observe the arguments, you can see this square brackets, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So the argument is in a square bracket. It's not a mandate. It is an optional. If you want to get an exact output or maybe the required output as per your requirements, we can write those arguments. Otherwise, it's not required. Simply you press comma and close the bracket. That is called optional arguments. But mandatory arguments, definitely you have to write. Suppose let's take for example VLOOKUP. If you take VLOOKUP, can you see this lookup value? Suppose let's say for example, maybe my lookup value is this. If is my lookup value, comma, table array. I'll show this as a table array, comma, column index number. Without adding this column index number, if I try to close the bracket and hit enter, it won't work. It's showing NA. Can you see this? It's showing NA. So what I have to write? I need to write the column index as well. Suppose I'll write column index as well, 1. Now I can close the bracket. I don't need to write this range lookup because range lookup is what? What is the range lookup? It is an optional argument.
Optional.
It is an optional argument. If you want, you can write. Otherwise, you can close the bracket. If you want, you can write it. Otherwise, you can close the bracket. Here we don't have a value. Suppose if I have a value like 2 or something, it will give the output. Maybe 1 second. If I write any if or something here, automatically it will fetch the data. Can you see this? I'm just writing if it is automatically showing the data. If I write 2 here, it will fetch this value. It's showing in a custom format. If I change it to general, it's showing as number. So it's called VLOOKUP formula. So in the VLOOKUP formula, all arguments are mandatory except the last one. If you see this column index number, up to here, it's a mandatory argument. But this range lookup is a optional argument. Can everyone see this?
Yes, sir.
So this is how we need to understand the formulas, guys. The moment if you open the formula, we need to understand it's a limited arguments or unlimited arguments. If it is again a unlimited arguments or limited arguments, we need to understand which one is the mandatory, which one is the not mandatory. Okay. With this help of arguments, we can identify how long we how lengthy we can write the formula. Is it a mandatory arguments we need to input something or not? In that way, we can understand and we can write the formulas. I hope everyone understood what is the mandatory, what is optional argument. You guys should be able to identify, right? Are you guys
Yes,
able to identify the arguments?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we will see a few examples. Okay, just for understanding purpose, I'll be asking you. You guys have to tell me like, is it a limited arguments or unlimited arguments? If it is limited, do you have any mandatory or optional arguments? You have to. Let's try a few formulas. IRR. Now tell me, is it a limited arguments or unlimited arguments?
Okay, limited.
So how many limited? How many mandatory? How many optional arguments?
One
Sir,
mandatory,
one mandatory, one
Values
is
is mandatory, sir.
optional
This
argument.
is this is optional.
And
argument.
let's try with the NPV. Now,
one mandatory,
Sir,
One
not
mandatory.
mandatory.
no,
is it
sir.
a limited
Two
arguments or
Unlimited.
unlimited arguments?
Unlimited.
So how many are mandatory arguments?
One mandatory,
Two,
two
One
unmandatory.
sir.
mandatory, sir.
Optional.
Two mandatory, one optional, sir.
Two are mandatory, guys, not one argument. If you
Yes,
see
sir.
this rate and value, one
Rate
also
to
need to
value
input.
one also. Yes, sir.
Without value, we cannot calculate the NPV. Okay. Similarly, some formula. Now tell me.
Unlimited.
Sir, one
Unlimited,
is mandatory, another ఇంకా మిగిలిండే
Remaining role?
Remaining
Optional.
optional,
optional,
And is it limited arguments or unlimited arguments?
unlimited.
unlimited, sir.
Unlimited. Great understanding. Yes. So I hope you understand, right? How we are identifying and all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And we are talking about inputs. Like we can input the manual input, we can provide through values, we can provide through
Formula.
some formulas. But how many data types we have? How we can input the data? Data types. Every formula we have the data types. Yes. Already we spoke, right? In the initial stage itself, what is the data types? We have a text, we have a numeric, and we have a date, and we have a logical, right?
Yes, sir.
But similarly for the formula syntax as well, we need to understand the formula. Suppose if you open the formula, like some formula, what it's showing? It's showing a number 1, number 2, right?
Yes, sir.
But if you open the formula called concatenate, what it's showing? It's showing text 1, text 2.
Yes.
Suppose if I write maybe some formula, can I write like a Mahesh, comma, Babu? Can I write?
No, sir.
No. It's not a text. It's asking for the number. So you have to input only number.
Yes,
Similarly, there is a concatenate formula. Suppose if you want to sum up 1 plus 2 is equal to 1 plus 2, can I write? It will show
No,
you
sir.
12.
Error.
And it is also left alignment. That means it's a text,
Text.
not number. So you need to understand which argument asking which kind of data. The argument of the formula asking which kind of data set is asking, which kind of data we need to input into the formula. That we need to understand. It's very, very important. Suppose you're writing some if formula or some formula. If you want to add, if you're continuously adding some values, there is no use, right? Without understanding what is number, what is text. We have formulas for both. Here we have a Mahesh and we have a Babu. Here also we have a 10, 20. We have formulas for both. We can add these two and also we can add these two. How to add? Suppose if it is number, we use a sum formula. Maybe the sum formula we'll use and we add it. The same formula, if I apply it for this below, it won't work,
Yes,
right?
sir.
It's showing
It
0.
is a text.
It is a text. So the formula itself asking for the numbers. If I'm giving a text, there is no use, right? So what I have to use? I have to use a different formula called concatenate.
Concurrent.
If you use the concatenate, then it will work.
Complement.
Now it will work. Suppose if I apply the concatenate formula, the values, still it is not incorrect approach because it will give you the output of addition. See, this is showing 1020. So which formula we need to use and what is the input type on each formula and formulas and argument? That's very important to understand. So now we'll focus on that. Give me a minute. Yeah, guys. So let's understand the data types. What is text? See, if you are writing something in formulas, the text is related. We can call it as a text, or it can be a string, whatever it is. In the formulas, normally we can see this kind of language. It will ask you to enter text or a string. It can be text formatted numbers also. We know, right? What is a text formatted numbers? Do you know what is text formatted numbers? Hello?
Sir,
We know, right? What is a text formatted numbers? Text formatted numbers. In the format we discussed, right? If I'm
Yes,
entering
sir.
something numbers like this using single quote, I mean the apostrophe and 20.
The
Once again.
double quote.
No, not double quote, apostrophe. These are the text formatted numbers. If I write the formula, it won't work on this. These are called text formatted numbers. You cannot write any mathematical calculations on this one. So these are text formatted numbers. So it can be text formatted numbers. We can use as a string. If formula is asking as a strings, we can enter the text. If it is a text, we can enter the text. Everyone understanding?
Okay.
And also, whenever we are writing the formulas, whenever we are writing the text, it should be in the double quotation. Very, very important. Whenever we are writing the formulas, how we need to enter? Within the double quotes, we have to enter the text. Formula will understand only if the data is in double quotations. If it is not in double quotation, it won't understand. The moment if you put within two double quotations, any text, it can be a text, can be number, whatever it is, it will take it as a text only. Is everyone understanding, guys?
Yes,
In the
sir.
formula, if you are writing any formula, maybe text formula or something, suppose if I write if condition, logical test is asking, right? Maybe if I type like Mahesh is equal to Mahesh, it won't consider because it's not understanding which is a text, which is a law, which is a number. So what I need to do, I need to put this in a double quotation. If I put this in double quotation, then only it will understand it as a text.
Text.
Then only it will understand a text. Maybe here I can write, if it is a true, it is a true. Value if true, yes, it is a true. Otherwise, it will show you as a false. It's a true, that's why it's showing 0. Suppose if it's a false, maybe Mahesh is equal to, I'll type incorrect spelling. It will show you as a false. But without writing with double quotation, will it consider? Suppose let's remove double quotations. It's not showing. It's showing an error. Why? I'm not using the text within double quotation. Understanding, guys?
Yes, sir.
Everyone able to understand? If formula wants to recognize, if it is a normal Excel cell, we can write anything as you want. Like this also we can write. It's a text only. But if you want to input manual, again we spoke about all these references, right? I mean the input ways, manual, reference and formula, especially related to the manual only for the manual formula entrance, manual input in the formula. If you want to enter the text, that should be in the double quotation. Suppose here we have Mahesh and Babu. If you want to use the concatenate, if you want to add this, we don't need to again use the double quotations because we are providing through reference. It will work automatically. But the problem is, if you're writing the formula, I mean the input within the formula as a manually, as a text one. What is the text one I need to write? Mahesh,
Mahesh.
comma, Babu. Will it work now?
Yes, sir.
It won't work. That's what I'm saying, guys. If you're entering the manual input in the formula, how we need to write the formula, how we need to write the text?
Quotation, double quotation.
Within the double quotations, we have to give. Suppose without a double quotation, let's see, will it work or not? I'm closing the bracket. Is it working?
No, sir.
Not working. So we have to use the double quotation for every text.
It will be work.
Now can you see?
Here's
Now
the
it's showing.
result. Yes, sir.
But I need a space, right? But I need a space between Mahesh and Babu. How to write that space? Can I use the space between this formula? We have a Mahesh comma space. Now is it okay? Will it work?
No.
Will it work? It won't work.
We need
No,
to give
sir.
a quotation to
Even the space is
Space
also a
also.
text. Even the space is also text. If you want to write the space, again that should be in double quotation. I'm just normally giving a text. No, it's not a normal text. So if you have to give the text within double quotation, again we have to use the comma. It will consider the Mahesh space Babu. If you observe the syntax for even space also I have mentioned it within the double quotations. So totally we have a 3 strings, 3 text values. Is everyone understanding, guys?
Yes, sir.
That is called text value. As an input type, it should be a text. Then few formulas will ask you the dates. Few formulas will ask you the date and time. Suppose what do we have date formulas? Yeah, these are the date, year, today. Okay, let's take today. Okay, that's not thing. Let me. Okay, networking days. We'll take networking days. Networking days. Can everyone say this? The moment if you open this formula called networking days, it's asking starting date, right?
Starting date is
If I'm writing this starting date in the formula itself, maybe let's assume the starting date is 1st May 2024. That is starting date, and end date is 31st
31st.
May
2021.
2024. I need to calculate the net working days for the May month. So this is called end dates. If I close the bracket, will it work? It's not working.
No.
Why? Even it can be date. Still we have to use between the double quotations. So let's understand. Again, let's write within double quotations, starting date, ending date. Now it's showing 283 days. It's a 2025. Let me take it as 2024 itself. Yeah, 23 days. So in this current month, May month, totally how many net working days we have? 23 days.
23.
By excluding Saturdays and Sundays, we have 23 days. So even it can be date also. When if you want to input in the formula itself as a manually, we have to use the double quotations. Suppose if it is a reference, no need to use. Suppose let's assume, let's take for example 5 2024, and here we have a ending date. Here we have ending date 31st May 2024. If I use the reference style, use the networking days, starting date this, comma, ending date, close the bracket. How is showing? 23. Now did I use any double quotations?
No.
No, sir.
I'm using the reference style.
Reference type.
Already the dates are available in the cells. I'm using those cell references. Right?
Sir.
In this case, not required. But if you're entering the dates or a text in the formula, within the formula, then we have to use the double quotations. Even it can be date also, time also, we need to enter it as a double quotations. Understood?
Yes,
Understood,
sir.
guys?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So we understood how to write text within the formula, how to write date and time within the formula. Now we'll see remaining things. If it is a number, you may have to enter the numbers as well. Suppose we have some formula. It's showing number. See this number 1, number 2. Yes, we can write any numbers. You can write numbers, any numbers, but without using any double quotations also we can write. We don't need to write any numbers within quotation. We can write as you want. 50, 20, 80, 90. Like that we can write anything. Not required. You just use to have for every number we have to differentiate through comma. This is how we can write the formulas for the numbers. So few formulas will ask you to enter index as well. What is index? if you open the formula called index, not index, which formula will ask as an index? Match, maybe let me take it as a match. Match also not asking. If not asking, we have few formulas where it will ask as an index. Not exactly getting IRR. No, not exactly remembering this. There are few formulas where it will ask you to enter index.
సార్
Sorry?
స్టాటిస్టికల్ ఫార్ములాస్ లో అడుగుతుంది సార్ ఇండెక్స్.
Okay, this is average. Okay.
ఇది
Maybe mode. Mode also not asking. No.
Lookup. VLOOKUP.
Mean. Lookup.
ఎస్ ఇక్కడ
Index.
అడుగు.
Yeah, you can see. See, lookup number, table array, and a column index. Can you everyone see this column index?
Yes, sir.
Third argument. So that is called index. So we have to use the number only there also. If it is index also, we have to use the number only. If I put A or B, it won't consider. Column index name means what is the position of a column. Suppose if I want to identify if I want to get the output from the C column, what is the position of C column? It's a column 3, right? So I'll have to use the column 3. Maybe else in the selected reference. Suppose this is the table I selected. Within the selected reference, input requires in the second column. So I have to use the column index number as a 2. So index, wherever you see the index, there also we have to enter the number only. Sometimes it will ask you to enter K. It will ask you like this, K. In the arguments, it will ask you for the K. K is also number. And few formulas will ask you only num, N-U-M. Suppose if you go to number, showing number, num. But if you any other formulas, it will ask you only NUM like that, arguments. There also you have to enter only numbers. Understood, guys?
Yes, sir.
Then few formulas it will ask you to enter range, array, or cell reference. Now you will see. Suppose if you go for sum if, what is asking? Range, right? Range. Can everyone see this?
Yes, sir.
Range is nothing but reference. What is the reference? We have to select the cells. Through cells only we have to select. Sir, can I give manual input here? Can I type something as between inverted commas, Mahesh or something? Can I type? We cannot type. If it is asking a range, array, or a cell reference, definitely you have to select through reference only. You have to select the cells or else the series of cells, series of tables. Definitely you have to select. Then only the formula will work. Without selecting the cells, if you're trying to enter manually, it won't work. Range, array, or cell reference. All these things is nothing but reference. We need to select the cells through reference and we have to provide the input in the formula. Understanding, guys?
Okay, sir.
Maybe I may have these 3 values as a reference, but still I want to provide the reference only. Suppose let's say for example, I have a values like 1, 2, 3. If I am writing a sum if formula showing a range, why should I provide range, sir? I can also provide like a comma, 1, comma, 2, comma, right? No, you cannot. It's asking a range. So wherever we have data, select those range date. I mean the range, the cell reference. That's how we should select the range. Understanding, guys? Is everyone understanding what is
Yes,
the
sir,
reference
understand.
where we have to use? If formula is asking a range, array, or cell reference, we have to select the reference only.
Reference.
There is a VLOOKUP formula. If you write VLOOKUP formula, it is asking table array. Can you everyone see this? Table array.
Yes, sir.
So that is also range.
One
We have to
cell
select
reference.
the table also need to be referenced through, they're selected through reference only.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Again, the lookup value. It's asking a value, lookup value. So it's a number. It should be the number only. Don't confuse. Again, in the values, we have many values, right? But it's lookup values, column index number. It can be anything. Just for our understanding purpose, showing a lookup is an additional word. Which is helping us to understand the formula argument. But ultimately, what it is asking? Value only. Right? Can everyone see this?
Yes.
Lookup underscore value. Even it is also column underscore index underscore one number. But ultimately, what it is ending with a number. So it should be the number only. Here also it's ending with a value. So it should be the value number only. Okay. That is called reference. And we will see the logical output. Suppose if any formula is asking a logical output, there we have to use either true or false. We can use the numbers as well. In the place of a true and a false, we can use the numbers as well. If it is a true 1, if it is a false 0, no. If it is a true, we can use a 0. If it is a false, we can use the word letter called 1. We can differentiate in these two.
Okay.
Okay. That's how we can identify. We can write manually true or false. Otherwise, you can also, suppose if you open the if formula, if formula, maybe the logical test. Let's see. Value if true, value if false. If you want to write, it's not the right output. No, that's not the right one, I think. What else we have? Logical output. Maybe we look up. There are a few formulas it will ask us to show the logical output. Only logical output true or these are the logical outputs. We will get only true or false by using this comparative operators. You know, right? Greater than, less than, greater than or equal, less than or equal, not equals. If you want to write the not equals, we have to use this word called both greater than, less than. We have to use in the same. That is called not equals. So if you want to write this comparative operators, then we will get this true or false results. Okay. Then we have a value or criteria. Value or criteria. Wherever you see this word in the range, I mean the arguments, we can mention anything. We can mention anything. We can provide the reference, we can provide a text, we can provide a value, we can provide a range, logical, anything we can provide. If it is asking value. Suppose if I open the VLOOKUP formula, what is asking? Lookup value. Value means what I need to enter. Is it required to mention only the number? Not required. I can mention the text as well. I can provide the reference. Or else if I can write the manual also, within the double quotation also I can write. Understanding? If it is a value or criteria, we can use anything. We can use the logical output, we can use the range, array, cell reference, number, text, anything you can enter. In the value and the criteria. Everyone understood, guys?
Yes, sir.
If it is text, only text should be added. If it is the numbers, the dates, even the date and time need to be added into the arguments. But again, these two should be added into the formula if it is manually within the double quotes.
Double quotation.
Either it can be date, time, or it can be text. Within the formula, if you are writing, you need to enter within the double quotes.
Quotations.
If it is a number, index, k or number, what we need to identify, what we need to enter?
Numbers.
It will accept only the number. If it is a range, array, cell reference, what it will accept?
References.
Only the reference, only the cell reference, like this, or maybe the table, multiple combinations of columns or number rows, we need to select. That is called reference.
Yes, sir.
What we have a logical output? Only true and false. By using the comparisons, operations. Comparative operators like
Less than, greater than, less than, equal.
If you want to get the output called a true and false, definitely we have to use the comparative operators or logical formulas. Without having a logical output or without having this comparison operators, we cannot get this output. Either we have to use the comparison operators or the logical output we have to use if you want to get the logical output. Okay. Then if it is a value or criteria, if argument formula is asking us to enter value or criteria, what we need to enter? What we need to enter? We can enter anything, guys. We can enter anything. Even if you want to write the if formula, what is asking? It's asking logical test. After the logical test, value if true, value of false. What is the value? Suppose logical test. Maybe let's write the logical test. This cell equals to this cell. If it is a true, it should show as a correct. If it is a false, it should show incorrect. Incorrect. I can write the text within double quotation and close the bracket. It's incorrect because 0 is not equal to 1. If I change this as a 1, as 1 equals to 1, it's showing as correct.
Correct. Yes,
right? So here the value, what I used value for that? I entered manually. Correct. Right? Manually I entered this text within double quotation. Value means we can enter the value number, it can anything we can enter.
Yes, sir.
Maybe without entering here, maybe I'll write here correct or incorrect. Let me write correct, incorrect. So here I'll use again the reference like this. If there is a logical test equals to 1, comma, if it is a true, it will show as a true. So what I'm doing here, the value if true is directly I'm selecting the cell through reference, comma. Value if false, I'll select incorrect. Close the bracket. Showing true, correct. This time I didn't enter the text manually. What I did, I used the reference tag. Is everyone understanding?
Yes, sir.
So this is called reference. So as a value or a criteria, we can enter anything. We can enter a date, we can text, date, time. It can be a range, cell reference, logical, anything we can provide this. That is called value or criteria. I hope you understand the all basics related to the formulas. Everyone understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. Then I'll stop the recording here. If anyone has any doubts, you can ask me, guys. Anything that needs to be recorded in the session. If you have any doubts or the formulas related,
No, sir.
No, that's
then I'll take it as a no. Let me stop the recording.
Yeah.